Look, there is nothing wrong with being narcissistic about something you're passionate about. You just have to be good at the thing you're narcissistic about, or you're just insufferable and nobody will willingly feed your ego. Enter me, the nARTcissist. I'm here to help my fellow narcissists capture their own willing ego feeders, and if I save you from your terrible artwork in the process, then you're welcome to the cult. Club. I said club. Moving on. Here I am, colouring the line art drawing I did of Kennedy Momobami from the Netflix anime Kakegurui. I'm going to give you 3 tips to improve your colouring while showing you how good I am. Tip 1. Equipment will make a huge difference in the outcome of your colouring. For starters, use paper that is specifically for art. None of that printer paper rubbish. You will not be able to get a smooth, clean finish using markers or coloured pencils on printer paper because it allows markers to bleed excessively and it doesn't have enough tooth for colouring pencils to hold on to, meaning there will be loads of unfillable white spots. I use marker paper by the brand that was known as Letraset, but is now rebranded to Winsor & Newton because I use Letraset markers. Why not Copic markers, you ask? Because I said so. Okay. Copic is more expensive and I get amazing results from Winsor & Newton paper and markers, so why buy into the Copic hype? Literally. Cheapish markers are fine, but I forbid you from using cheap colouring pencils because they sucketh. And if they suck, then so will you. I mean your art. Your art will suck. If you really want good results like mine, you have to use a high quality pencil brand like Faber-Castell or Caran d'Ache. Caran d'Ache is better, so obviously that's what I use, but Faber-Castell is more affordable, so I permit peasant narcissists to use them. To be specific, I use Caran d'Ache luminance pencils over Faber-Castell polychromos because they are softer and so give you a much smoother finish, which means almost non-existent white spots. This softness means it is a lot easier to blend colours without burnishing the paper so much that you can't add any more colour layers. This is extremely helpful to create colours you want. For example, I layered 9 different colours for the turquoise wall with no problem. Tip 2. How I create colour synergy. I use the 60-30-10% rule. This rule is used a lot in cinematography as well as art, but I will focus on how it is used in art. 60% stands for the dominant colour in the picture. 30% is the second most used colour and is complementary to the dominant colour. And 10% is a highlight colour that pops out from the dominant and secondary colour. To break that information down, the dominant colour covers the most surface area of your picture and is what creates the feeling of synergy in a piece. It is often the background colour like it is in this image. The dominant colour is important because it sets the mood of your art. For example, the dominant colour in this image is turquoise, which sets a cool, calm mood. If a dominant colour is used well, the picture will be rewarding to look at because it feels complete and logical instead of chaotic and confusing. The dominant colour ties a piece together, meaning it can make or break your art. The secondary colour is the main colour of your picture, meaning that you want the secondary colour to be on the main subject of your image. For example, the secondary colour in this image is red because the main subject of this image is Kiriri and Chibi Yumiko. The secondary colour works with the dominant colour to tie a piece together, as once the viewer focuses on the secondary colour, their eyes then observe the secondary colour and its surroundings, causing the dominant colour to be examined next. The secondary colour pops out against the dominant colour and therefore is the first colour that comes to mind when you remember the image. Lastly, the highlight colour is the least used colour in the image and brings a bit of extra spicy detail, but is not needed to tie the picture together. In this image, the highlight colour is amber. Tip 3. How to colour semi-realistically. Use references a lot. To colour the skin elements in this image, I used reference images of myself. For example, I used a picture of my hand in the same pose and lighting as the outstretched hand in this image to place details and understand where the shadows fall in general. However, if I had stuck to the photo exactly, I wouldn't be colouring semi-realism. To break out of the realism box, there are various things I do that you can do too. Tip 3B. Semi-realism, light to dark contrast and exaggeration. The exaggeration of light to dark contrast is a key tool in creating semi-realistic art because it creates a focal point, something the viewer can hold on to so they feel like they are not lost in your work, especially if your picture has a lot going on in it like this one does. Light to dark contrast exaggeration can help you plan your artwork, especially if there is more than one focal point. In this piece there are 3. With light to dark contrast exaggeration, I plan how viewers will perceive the image by manipulating the order that each focal point anchors the viewer's eye. Naturally, the human gaze gravitates towards faces and eyes, so the first focal point is always the face. The second and the focal point that you can tell I wanted to emphasize the most is the outstretched hand. The third focal point is the Joker card. But wait, you're probably wondering why you had an inkling that the second focal point, the outstretched hand, is the main focal anchor of the image. Well, there are 2 reasons for this. One is obviously the large foreshortened perspective of which I drew it. The second one is that it's interesting, it's detailed and semi-realistic. However, so is the face. So what is the main difference here? Well, it's the light to dark contrast. The hand is a lot darker than the face. Combine this with a semi-realistic style with lots of detail and you've got yourself a main focal point. However, imagine if I coloured the face as dark as the hand. It wouldn't matter that the hand is large and in charge, because we are hardwired to perceive faces over hands, and so there would be a competition between the 2 focal points. Meaning, the viewer would end up lost in your art and their reaction would be, it's alright, at best, and that response does not earn you narcissist points or ego feeders. Tip 3C. Semi-realism, stylized use of colours and exaggeration. Now this is going to sound obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. Play with the colours you use. You don't have to use the exact colours you see in reference images, and actually, using obscure colours often makes your art more interesting, as long as you don't use clashing colours and create a mess. If you do that, you deserve to be ridiculed by the art community. Another thing that may be obvious is that semi-realism allows for exaggeration of colour detail. For example, the 2 fingertips closest to the Joker card are also the darkest and have the biggest light shine. Both of these things are exaggerated and did not appear in my reference photo, especially the light shine. The reason this kind of colour detail exaggeration is effective is because it creates a focal point within a focal point, which is what you want in a main focal point to make it, well, the main focal point. Okay, thanks for watching, and don't forget to feed my ego by spanking that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for more content like this. Until next time, this is your dear leader, nARTcissist, signing out.